Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta. Tonight we have Psychosis. So, for those of you just joining us for the first time, CreepyPasta are internet stories that get copied and pasted across the internet. They're usually very short, and the name came from a slang for copy-paste, which eventually became copypasta, and then the creepy ones are creepypasta. So there you go. This one, Psychosis, was suggested to us by a listener, Charcoalman on Deviantart, and it was when we read it, I enjoyed the hell out of it. So done. We can go now.
All right, episode over.
Yeah. No. If you want to check it out, Psychosis is on creepypasta.com. So just go check it out. We'll wait. Thank you. Done. And here's the rundown. So it starts off with this guy writing in a journal, not typing it on a computer, because he feels that typing putting something in a computer can be changed or deleted, and there's a little bit more permanence with the writing. And he's isolated. He's living in a basement apartment, barely has any contact with people for days. And this day he's writing this, which is a Sunday, because the story decides to give you the days that he's putting in the entries. He's decided to go and see if just to go outside and see people again for like a little bit. And he goes upstairs, goes outside, and it's nighttime. And he realizes he doesn't hear anybody. He doesn't see anybody. It's just a night. It's like a nighttime cityscape kind of thing. So he tries to text or call one of his best friends, Amy, and no reply at all. And then as soon as he hangs up, he gets a call from a mysterious person, and he picks it up.
Not a mysterious person. It's a wrong number.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, wrong. Yeah, from a wrong number. And he's like, "Hey, who's this?" It's like John, and so we know now the character's name is John. And he's like, "Oh,
and
wrong
we're
number."
not the only ones. Dun dun dun. Anyhow.
And he's like, "Okay, oh, sorry, wrong number." So clicks, hangs up, and then instantly, as soon as he hangs up that, he gets a message from another anonymous caller. Picks it up, and it's Amy. And she's saying it seems like she's at a party, and so she invites him to go out there, but he declines because it feels like crap. He's been out down in his cave for like 2 days, and so he just kind of hangs up, goes back down into his basement dwellings, and then realizes it's like, well, why was she? I didn't hear any partying going on in the background or anything. I should have heard that. And so he kind of like starts slipping a little bit into some paranoia about like not even really hearing anybody or seeing anybody. And then what happens after that for that day? Is that the end of Sunday?
Yep.
Okay. Monday.
Yeah, he went to check if the wind was still blowing, but then he doesn't write, or he didn't write. And then Monday he finishes the...
he went and checked and felt kind of silly.
Well, he finishes the writing.
Yeah.
And he... Okay, and then he heard something, but it was thunder because it's raining.
And he's got a really thick metal door, so it just probably sounded muffled. Probably
doesn't say that, but
yeah, sorry.
Just make shit up, don't you?
Yep, pretty much.
It's like, I don't know the answer. I'm gonna make shit up so I can talk.
I think that's more or less what happens in my mind when I'm reading these. It's like, oh, well, what's that?
Yeah, it was, yeah. This is when he, goes up to the third floor and whatnot.
And goes to check outside and stuff. And notices, like, the buildings look like stone monoliths or stone things.
You mean the doors?
Oh, the doors, okay. Okay. Bah, sorry. You continue.
Did you even read this?
Yes, I did.
It's starting to make me feel a little... Are you even real? Are you circuits?
Yes, Dr. Leviathan.
Yeah, he goes up to the third floor. I don't really know why. Oh,
yeah, just take a look outside, right?
And to try and see anyone. and whatnot. Like, he's
not seen anybody in 2 days.
He's just sick of being alone, so he's, like, basically taking a little wander through his building.
Yeah.
And then, he's like, oh yeah, there's that window. So he goes to that, and he can't open it, and then he's got the idea.
The webcam?
I don't know why this triggers his idea.
But it just, like triggers
so he sets up a webcam between the 2 pop machines down the hall from his basement apartment. And this is the idea he got from a 3rd floor window.
And then, like, he goes to open the door, but is very nervous about doing so. Like, he should...
Well, he opens it and then runs back into his apartment so he can look at it through the webcam.
Yeah, through the safety of a webcam and the safety behind his door. And he doesn't see anything. Like it's... He wished it had been positioned so that...
nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Sorry, just literally read that line.
Right.
My eye just caught the exact point where we were.
Nice. And then does his... Is it... Oh, then he starts checking through his email and stuff like that. Or, like, starts talking to somebody on Skype. Over with an old webcam that he had in his closet. He had a spare. And he talks to them for a little bit just to see somebody. Because he's getting, like, really... It feels like he's really isolated from everybody else.
He's got the cabin fever.
Yeah. I wanted to say that, but I wasn't sure if that was actually the term for it. Is that cabin fever? Okay.
Yes, because once upon a time when you were snowed, like when you didn't have electricity and you were snowed in and you were stuck in the cabin, you'd get a little, like,
antsy.
Fuck, I just want to go out.
Yeah.
And the term for that was cabin fever.
Yeah, gotcha.
Unless I'm horribly mistaken, but
I think that's probably actually accurate, though. So, all right. And so, he's also checking his emails and stuff. He gets this really weird email, like, they see, or something like about, like, they...
The weirdest damn thing about this email is that it's cut off.
Yeah.
That just seems weird for an email.
It's like...
Right? Because you still gotta, like, once you're done typing, you still gotta, like, hit send. Just seems weird to hit send mid-sentence, but...
No, I agree. Like, and we've encountered this before in a couple of pastas. Like, what was the one that you hated? Witness.
Oh, the one I hated.
Witness. Where, like, the guy's, like, typing the whole thing out, and then, like, it just kind of cuts out, like...
Yeah.
And then it's just like, witness. So, yeah, it was kind of a similar thing to that, right?
It's like, well, typing isn't the same as... like talking, because if I cut you off mid-sentence, you know,
you're hearing what I got.
Shut up, off. And then
exactly. But like with email and some of that, you put the point. Like there's a secondary function to hit the send button.
Yeah,
otherwise it doesn't get sent out.
Yeah, so that's I mean,
unless the murderer or whoever just decided to send the button, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, technically the words are still there, but someone's still got to hit send.
Yeah.
So that one always just... Anywho, we're still doing the rundown.
Yeah. So, he gets this weird email about, like, seeing with, like, you see it with their eyes, and, like, they betray you.
Don't Seen with them. Your own eyes, don't trust them, they...
Thank you for the...
And then that's...
Yeah, and then it cuts out.
Again, you just make up words for...
Yes, sure. And so he finds that really unnerving, and then he gets a message from Amy, I think at this point, and she wants him to. She wants him to go out for dinner or something.
Yeah,
and then like he's getting all ready, he's like showered and shaved, ready to go, and then like I think the next thing is he writes down. It's like, oh my god, I looked at my like email or. Oh no, was that...
He realized...
Was that during that? I think that was actually the email, like when he got the email.
No, this is when he realizes that anytime he only gets information back...
By giving information.
Once he's given it out, this is when he realizes that he tried to call Amy, but it didn't work, and then he got the wrong number, and, you know... Then he said his name, and then he gets another call from Amy, and, you know, she uses his name. This is, like...
Yeah.
This is when he sends out an email and suddenly starts getting email. This is when he... You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it like
he's realizing that he's not getting phone calls or his name or emails unless he tries to use either the device or says his name or yada yada yada.
Yeah, exactly. And so he goes on that. So Amy comes to the door, comes out.
This is when there's another pause, another break, and then it's the same day, but it's a different entry, and he's been running around his apartment trying to get a signal with his cell phone, so that he can because he's in a basement apartment, and I guess this is back in a time when that would be a horrible place to try and have cell phone reception.
Back before we had Wi-Fi everywhere. Or internet, or good signal everywhere.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know how old this pasta is, but regardless, he has horrible reception in his basement, except in this one corner.
Yeah.
Near the ceiling. And he, he sent text messages, text everyone, basically because he just wants to hear from anyone. Even if they're like, you're crazy, he's just like, I just want to hear from you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting a serious case of cabin fever.
And then and this is also when he sends out the IM messages to everyone online.
Seen anybody's face lately, was that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, well, that's the text he sends out.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't say specifically what he IMs, but you can assume that it's something similar.
Yeah. And then he starts getting all the emails and whatnot.
And then he also finds a TV. I think this is when he finds the TV. Well, he tears apart the apartment looking for some other way to contact people without opening the door.
Which is... Yeah. And then, he does find...
And then the phone rings. Flipped open the phone, and this is when Amy calls,
right? And
she's really worried, and and she's coming over, and he's all like, I don't care about anything. Well, he doesn't care about cleaning up and whatnot.
Yeah, he just wants to get out of there, see Amy, do something normal for once, or do something normal for that he hasn't done in the last couple of days.
And she's the only person who's responded about his crazies.
His plight.
Yeah. And then she gets there, and he can't see her through the... he doesn't see her through... No. Through the camera.
Ah, right.
And she's all like, hey! And he's all like, I can't see you through the camera, and tells her about it. And then all of a sudden, he can see her on the camera, and she walks over to the camera, and she's all like, open the door. And he's all like, nope.
Yeah, because he realized, wait, I can see her.
He's like...
he's about to, and then...
Humor me and tell me one thing, that you know about me. And then she tells him the one thing he just wrote down in his journal.
Yeah, and then realizes
about how they met, or about when they met,
and then he's like, how could they know that? And then he realized the old webcam he has.
Yeah, the second webcam is looking right at the journal, and this is basically when he
starts going full blown paranoid.
This is when he goes crazy.
Yeah. And then he tells her, eventually she leaves after a lot of banging on the door, and he smashes all the electronics in the room that could possibly get a signal out or get information out to whatever entity at this point he thinks that there's an entity that has taken over.
Yeah.
Out the outside world. And so eventually a couple of days pass, and some people at the door come to the door. Police, now. Amy, a doctor, a psychologist, and he's saying the psychologist is being very scientific, very professional, but very kind, saying he's suffering from
explaining
psychosis.
Everything, and he's explaining it. Yeah, his explanation explains every little thing just so everything he's experienced.
And
it wraps it up in a nice little package.
Yeah.
And it's...
To too perfect for him to accept.
Exactly.
So he just eventually the police start bashing through the door, or he thinks it's the entity, and then he realizes it's like finally I'll just stay here and see this thing see the end, and then realizes wait, what if that email that I had said the eyes thing, eyes are like a camera, like they turn light into electric impulses. And then it kind of cuts to, and it alludes that he cut out his own eyes, or he poked out his own eyes. And then the next entry, he's writing in a cell, essentially.
He's in a padded cell.
Yeah.
And he's got no eyes.
And he's writing with muscle memory, essentially, on the paper. And just saying, this thing has been posing, hasn't gotten me yet. It tried to, and it's tried all these things to lure me in. And it the way he writes it, and the way he's telling how it poses as a doctor or a nurse or even Amy, and even simulates tears on her cheeks that it makes me feel, and it tells me everything I want to know or everything I want to hear. To try and accept that this isn't what's happening, but it's happening.
And it's even adapted to, his heightened hearing because he's got no eyes, and, we're all Daredevil. We just gotta, take out our eyes.
And it simulates this nurse is having a baby.
Also, disclaimer: don't remove your eyes to become Daredevil based on my recommendation. I am not really a doctor.
Yeah.
Just gotta put that disclaimer in there. I do not want that karma coming on me.
Yeah, no. So yeah, and at this point, I'm reading the story, and it just feels it's okay, so this is just really sad and end to this guy whose life, who is completely ruined because of his psychosis. And then the last paragraph pops up, where the doctor's reading the scribblings of this poor, insane man, and he wishes he could smile because I can't.
He wanted to smile at the man's steadfast resolve, a reminder of the human will to survive, but he knew that the patient was completely delusional. After all, a sane man would have fallen for the deception long ago.
Yeah, so...
Direct quote.
Yeah. So, as it turns out, the entity that this guy thought, was saying, and that, kind of been alluding that was just all in his head...
Some sort of electric...
Some kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the doctor's controlled by filaments wrapped around his head.
And into his eyes.
Into his eyes.
So, there is some kind of alien or, electronic force or entity controlling everybody else in the world. And this insane man is the last one, pretty much. And this thing's been trying to deceive him the whole time. It's actually been something weird and supernatural, guys. It hasn't just all been in this guy's head. Which I both like, and I thought was kind of a cop-out. I really liked it because it brought in, I was thinking, at this point, I was actually, by the padded room stuff, I was actually starting to see the character from, as Sam Neill from At the Mouth of Madness, where... he's gone completely insane, and everybody thinks he's crazy, but the world is actually going to hell. So I liked it for that kind of the similar kind of vibe that I was getting off it. But at the same time, I almost kind of would have liked that last paragraph to just been removed and just have it end with his last writings.
Yeah,
and just let it go with he's insane and he's gone completely nutso.
Yeah, I had this really awesome visual of, just him sitting in a straitjacket in a padded cell, and it being this, horribly sad thing, but he's perfectly content.
Yeah,
he's I'm the fucking hero.
Yeah.
I'm humanity's last hope. I'm also Napoleon.
Yeah, exactly. He's completely delusional, completely insane.
And also, with that whole last... not entry, but with that, point of view of the doctor, it makes it turns the title into a liar.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, I actually thought it was really good.
As a psychological,
version of, this is a...
I could have, this could actually be, a journal of some psychologically
Well,
troubled person.
when you told me which one we were doing, I was like, geez, I wonder how much this title is going to piss me off by it not being a psychosis and by it just being, someone using a word that they like as of the title. And, I started reading and I'm ready to be pissed off by it. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of, whatever. And I was like, you know what? Actually, they got Psychosis, this is an aptly titled pasta for a change. Well, not for a change, but they didn't just use a cool word. And then the end happens, and it's like...
And now you turned
the Psychosis into an actual thing, To
be fair, he was still psychologically disturbed and had that psychosis. It's just it saved him from something that, as it turns out, was
because
he was still brought into insanity. But
how so? He's right.
Yeah, but he's
he
is, but
when they're actually all out to get you, it's not paranoia, it's caution.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
When the world is actually when there actually is this electronic
cybernetic
entity, almost a cyber entity, when Skynet's actually out to get you, and you gouge out your own eyes so it can't deceive you, you're not crazy. You're not suffering from psychosis.
Okay, you're actually the most sane person.
You're a hero.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, the ending definitely deceives you in that, with that.
So, it makes the type... No, because the rest of it is undone by the ending. He's not crazy.
He's actually the sane one.
Yeah, when you're... So, it's not a psychosis when you're right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I
get exactly,
and I'm sure someone's going to argue with me on this, that the guy is actually crazy, and that, he does come to these conclusions without any, real evidence to back it up. He
does even say, I think in the last log before he goes into the insane asylum, that, any sane person would have, logistified this whole thing as what the doctor was saying and some of that. And then he just ignored that entire thing. So...
Yeah, but it doesn't... It's still... But he's right to not trust it.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I thought I was Napoleon, I'd be crazy. But if I was actually Napoleon, I wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah. Where'd that analogy come from, by the way? Napoleon.
Did you never watch cartoons when you were a kid, and everyone whenever there's
a crazy
a mental ward or crazy, someone always thinks they're Napoleon.
Huh.
It's it was like a meme before memes were memes.
I guess I just never noticed it.
Wow. This is back from Bugs Bunny days.
Yeah.
No.
I can't even recall an episode of a show that had that.
Well,
I remember
they're out there.
I remember
are they? Is that my psychosis?
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, like I said, I did the whole story. Yeah, I liked it. I thought at first I was like, okay, is this really a whole, is this there's a lot of drawing out a lot of stuff, but at the same time, by the end, after I finished reading it, I thought back on it, I was like, this actually really worked with that because it's drawing it out.
Well, it was a slow burn.
Yeah.
It took its time to reach its climax.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of boring at the start for that.
But at the same time,
just to let you know, I was totally right there with you. I was bored as fuck when I started reading this. And I was like, okay, come on. I didn't care. I was so lucky that I decided not to have the TV on or anything when I read this, because I would have been so distracted.
Yeah.
But because it was boring as fuck. But
that said, we did even
as it goes on, it pays off because it it builds up to things, and the build-up works.
And everything that was said eventually rolled back until, like, to the very end, where, like, it's like, well, everything I've said, like, I've like put out there, like, all the times he encountered somebody, or he put his name out, or put something out there, it came back on him, like.
Well, nothing came back on him without him putting it out.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like it was all like kind of like it all helped to connect the whole thing.
Yeah, it was well done. Definitely, just with the fact that it wasn't afraid to be boring.
Yeah,
it wasn't afraid to just kind of, okay, you know what? I'm gonna bore you for a couple of paragraphs. Why? Because you'll see.
Exactly.
And then you do, and yeah, it worked out.
The story's the more richer for it.
Well, exactly. By the time I had read just a few paragraphs, I was sucked in, and I kind of wanted to know how this whole thing played out.
Yeah.
And then, it played out fairly well. It actually very much reminded me of an episode of Outer Limits, or the Twilight Zone. Specifically Outer Limits. I don't know, this really felt like an Outer Limits episode for me.
This could easily have been like an episode, like, and script-wise. So.
It was so good. But here's where the ending really gets to me, because I didn't appreciate the reveal of the
truth.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly, of the truth, because, and this is, well, just because it took away any possibility of, like, any room for interpretation, because, it could have ended with his final writings, the scribblings of a madman, and you could have been, I thought it was, I thought there really was an entity, and I could have been like, I thought he was just a raving lunatic, and that would have been, neither one of us would have necessarily been wrong.
Yeah. To be fair, though, I was actually like going to had I not read those last paragraph or two, I would have been totally fine with it just being Psychosis, like with it actually being
the
guy
I was just using that.
I know, because I actually liked the ending where you were not as much a fan,
but it was,
or I liked the twist. Yeah,
well, the twist. It's not really a twist. It's it's right all along.
Yeah, exactly.
But, where it should have ended is with the cliche ending of, oh yeah, he's just a madman in a padded room. And there's a reason it's cliched. Because once you take that one step further, it takes away from what came before. Yeah. Like that added little bit with the doctor.
Yeah, because everything else
takes away from the rest of the story.
Yeah, because it even switches like even like the whole story up to this point was written in a journal by the patient.
It's not even that. It's just the fact that, like, okay, you come right out and say that, it's messed up, or, that things are what they are, and yada, yada, yada. And it's just so...
It forces it into one path.
Exactly, and it's so anticlimactic because of it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why virtually every other version of it, because, this is a thing I have read, watched, whatever.
John Carpenter's last movie was
100 times.
Yeah.
And it was, like, it's always the same. The reason it's always the same is because that's the best point that you can...
To end it. Yeah.
To go any further is to lessen the whole thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this one went a little further.
Yeah.
And
by a paragraph. And it didn't ruin it, but
it doesn't ruin it.
It just forced it into
the rest of the story
path.
Is still there,
yeah.
But it definitely lessens the whole by doing this way. And I honestly felt that it really did the rest of the story a disservice. It's kind of like, have you ever, heard someone talk about a movie or a story or something, like maybe they created it or maybe they just, stumbled upon it. And they're like, it does, insert cliched plot here, but it does something new with it. And have you ever just groaned on the inside? Because, they did something new with it.
Yeah, actually.
And you're not growing because... they ruined it, or, like, they ruined a classic, or what have they done to it? You're groaning because, yeah, they did something new when they shouldn't have.
Yeah, like they should have just left...
When there's a
formula
reason
there.
for it to be like this.
Yeah.
And they did something new. That's what Psychosis did, to me. It did something different with a cliche story, but it's a cliche for a reason. It's a cliche because no matter how many times you read it, no matter how many times you watch it, no matter how many people do it, it always works.
Yeah.
And you take it that one step further, and it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Personal opinion.
Yeah, no. It's again, there's a reason why most like movies that have to deal with that, or horror movies that deal with psychological like things like that, like or going to an asylum and stuff like that. It's a reason why they end it on, well, the character ends up in a padded room, and you're not sure if anything that happened was actually supernatural, if it was all in their heads.
Or even worse, that it was all in their head, and
they believe
what
it still.
could it have been? Like, how many things could have happened to you if they were all in your head, you know? Like, it starts to... It makes
existential dread.
It makes the audience question their own reality.
Yeah.
Whereas this doesn't make you question your reality.
Not with the ending of the movie. Not with the last
Which
paragraph.
is weird, because it almost seems like, you know...
It's trying to tell you, it's like...
It's trying to make you question reality, but at the same time, you're just like, well, reality is a fixed thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lost your train of thought.
Yeah, I thought I had something and then just lost it.
Well, that's common for you.
It's as if something is stopping me from... Writing-wise, very well done, I believe.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure that's your opinion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're right. It was actually delightfully well written. Again, you know, this is a great creepypasta just in everything, really.
Yeah. Like, the ending doesn't ruin the story, it's just, it puts it in a narrower direction.
It doesn't ruin it, it just shouldn't have been.
Yeah, or it should have been left a paragraph back.
It should have been left ambiguous.
Yeah.
And it should have been left, you know, with you questioning, like, you know, wow, the mind can come up with such crazy and vivid things, and, you know...
That's the horror aspect of this, is that you have the fear your mind, or what your mind is capable of.
The horror, the monster in this isn't, you know, the cyber beast that, you know,
is supposedly actually there. It's actually like just what the mind does.
Exactly. The monster is your own mind, and what it can come up with, and what it can make you think has to be real, because even though there are other explanations, this is what has to be real.
Yeah, because your mind's shying away from any other possibility.
Exactly, and that's, you know, that's way scarier than, you know, some sort of Skynet type thing, or whatever cyber monster this is. Like, the human mind is infinitely more terrifying, because it can make you believe in every monster, or any monster, or none of them.
Yeah, or that you are the last person alive on the planet.
Exactly.
Because you didn't see anybody, you just happened to like walk out of your apartment after 2 days of being isolated from anybody, and it just happened to be a very slow day on that street. And you just didn't see anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very, it causes a lot of, I guess, is it called existential dread? Is that what that insinuates? Or is it just like, it's psychological horror? I think psychological horror is probably more accurate.
You may also be using two slightly different terms.
Because I think existential dread is just like making you fear your own existence, or making you doubt your own existence. Whatever. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So bottom line, I think we both enjoyed this pasta. I would recommend it. This is
I gotta recommend it just because it was well done, which for, you know, constant listeners, that's obviously a rarity, although not lately. Lately we've had a good run of good pastas, and I'm dreading on how we're gonna pay for that.
Yeah, karma's a bitch.
Because we are gonna pay for that, and yeah. That's gonna be fun. Cause
To be fair, I mean...
This is not, like, the past 3 weeks, that's not making up for cupcakes.
No.
Because I'm sure we had cupcakes coming for something else we did.
Yeah.
Eventually, the cosmic scales are going to balance, and when we do, it's going to be it's either going to be a good long run of shitty pastas, or it's going to be one really
bad
fucking shitty pasta.
Way to be an optimist ever.
I'm not an optimist. I'm a realist. Because every good pasta we read means there's one less good pasta for us to stumble upon.
Yeah. And to be fair, we've been stumbling on some gems.
We've gotten some good ones. I mean, the Christmas tree. God, I can't remember what last week's was. But it was good.
Because it had such a long title.
Right, that wasn't my husband I slept beside last night, or in my bed with the lights off and the erections.
Wow.
What? It was long and weird.
Yeah, it wasn't and we had some other ones in the past, but yeah, Christmas, but those the holiday season definitely brought in those.
Three have been good, like, once you count Psychosis into it.
We did have Amelia and Lone Stones between Christmas Tree and That Wasn't My Husband.
Okay, well, I'm getting old and my memory isn't what it used to be. Also, I tend to block bad experiences.
Fair enough.
See? This is the power of the mind.
I'll bring it back.
Okay, well, that does make me feel... But even those ones weren't horribly offensive.
Yeah, and actually, Amelia came to mind when I was reading this one because of the length of it, or how long, he was drawing, they were drawing things out, but at the same time, it actually reminded me of what you said. It's like, all right, we gotta get all this out. It's like, no, sit down.
No, sit down, take your time.
Right, yeah, take your time.
Yeah, tell me what really happened,
exactly, yeah.
You know?
And that's what this story did.
Exactly, yeah, this one is, well, I mean, the past two, because, the last one was, it was a 6-parter, so.
Yeah.
This one is a prime example of
how a long form could work.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's not super long.
No, but it's...
it's no 6-parter, but it's not short. But, I honestly don't know how long it took me to read, but...
Well, actually, yeah, the reading I listened to refresh myself for this this pasta, as little as it helped, probably from that rundown.
I'm sick of covering for you, audience. The cultist just can't read, so he listens to them.
I do read them. I just also listen to them.
I know, but I like to make fun of people, and you're the only one in the room.
Fair enough. But yes, the Chilling Tales from Chilling Tales for Dark Nights on YouTube. It was the one I listened to for this. It was a fantastic reading because not only did we have multiple voices for the voices of the people that the character was talking about, we also had sound effects like doors slamming, rain, wind, just a ton of really good, just a really good production. So go check that out, honestly, if you want to just listen to this or read along with it. And yeah, like I said before, CreepyPasta.com is where this one resides. Is there anything else we had? Because again, this is going to probably apologies if this isn't as exciting as some of our ranting ones. It's just we've been getting some good ones that we enjoyed.
Honestly, I mean...
And again, thank you, Charcoalman, for
I can't
bringing this one to our attention.
I just can't state enough that this is a better example than That Wasn't My Husband Beside Me Last Night, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I've been short forming it to That Wasn't My Husband.
Yeah, there we go. This is a better example of taking your time, because although that one was a good one and I wouldn't, take a word out of it, it was really long, whereas this one is creepypasta length still.
Yeah.
This one didn't have to be broken up into several parts.
Yeah.
And, this is just probably the best example I've...
Even more so than Christmas Tree?
Because Christmas Tree just wasn't as good of a story either. It was good, but this one's better.
Gotcha.
Like, ending
This
and
one
all,
actually
warts
gives
and
you-
all,
yeah,
this one is better than...
This one captures the paranoia, the thriller aspect of, and like the horror, and sinks in the horror of the mind.
Yeah, well...
Which is what...
I don't know if I actually made the point earlier, but because I was reading this like, oh, gee, I wonder how this title's going to piss me off.
Yeah,
because I wonder how not Psychosis this story is going to... Like, how much not Psychosis this is going to have. And this felt like falling down the rabbit hole with someone slowly, or not so slowly, really, because it just
over the course of a couple of days, he just kind of, spirals into madness.
Like, I felt like I was taking a journey into someone's personal little psychosis, and it was really well done.
Yeah, and actually, I really felt bad for this guy
because
when he was in the asylum. Like,
we haven't talked about that. We've talked about the writing and we've talked about the ending, but the journey through the madness was just phenomenal.
Yeah. I wanted to see like where this guy was going to
with the whole. It was boring at the start, and then it just kind of sucked you in.
You saw like the
it's
modality.
Because you're going crazy with this motherfucker, and it is just, you kind of want to know, is this guy crazy? Like,
exactly. Like, is this actually happening? Is this happening out there, or is it all in this guy's mind? Is he like he's, and it even brings up like he's overthinking everything because he's a programmer. And that's what they do, and so it's just like, yeah, I just loved like all the little details they put into it, and then see all this and just read the spiral into madness over the course of like a week.
I mean, like, for a bit, he's aware that he's going crazy, but then he
just accepts it at one point.
Well, but then he just says, no, I'm not going crazy. I am right. And it's like...
that's the first...
That's the last straw. That's when it's like, okay, yeah, you are a fucking nutter butter.
Yeah.
Because he's aware of his descent, but once the descent's over, he's just like,
I'm right.
I'm right, bitches. You can't come in here. The door will protect me.
It's like, wait, I've destroyed everything that this thing can use for me to see it. Wait, no, I haven't. Pull out the needle and poke out your eyes. Yeah, that was the last straw. And then like again, like reading the paragraphs with him in the padded room, it was just like so sad that like this guy had like a life that like his life was just started. Like
he didn't have a life. He was a programmer. But
ouch.
But no, seriously, he didn't have much of a life.
But I mean, like but it took. I like how like it took this event for everything to come out. Like that his his best friend Amy loved him as much as he loved her, but they never actually like really said anything of that until he was too far gone to believe it.
Yeah.
So it was just
again, just how awesome was it at that point?
Yeah, it was just
before
like
the ending, and
it had it ended. Yeah,
and the whole the journey, like
we start off in mundane, like he's just checking out things. Hey, that's weird. There's nobody here, and then just spirals.
Yeah, just
right down the rabbit hole.
It was awesome, and that's why this is such a great creepypasta. It's not because it's well written, although if it hadn't have been well written, it wouldn't, it would have sucked. Just because if things are written poorly, then they're written poorly.
Yeah.
But like all of the little fine mechanics of it, unimportant. Even like
to the actual...
even the ending, it's unimportant because that journey is what
so
makes
much better.
it.
Yeah.
It's what makes it good. It's what makes it worth reading.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely can't. I probably can't oversell it, and I'm probably gonna try to anyway. But this one was like definitely good, and I've said it about other pastas, and
we're getting spoiled for 2015.
Oh, just wait for the second shoe to fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it sounds like I'm so on this thing's dick. It's because I am.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it was definitely good. It was definitely fun. Our rundown is
horrible.
It's a disservice to the story.
it just helps to kind of like get us to into the groove of it, like to remember things from the story.
So if somehow you haven't
gone already and read this or listened to it,
if
why?
you haven't read it, go do it now, because it's so not a waste of your time.
No.
And, you know, if you're like me or the cultist here, just stop at his final undated entry, and then, you know, like once you've read through that, just stop, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess on that note.
All right, that's the end of my rant.
Yeah, on your positive rant. On that note, if you have a comment or suggestions and whatnot for the show, discussion stuff, leave it on the comment section below wherever this gets posted. We are also on iTunes, so leave us a review. That'd be awesome. We're also on Twitter. I don't think we mentioned that last episode, but yeah, we're on Twitter at Review Cultist and at Dr. Leviathan. We have been starting to get some people suggesting stuff for us, so by all means, we're always welcoming it. Hate mail, compliments.
Why you gotta tell them to hate me?
We haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, but we both know that when it starts, who it's coming in for.
Cultist? No. It'd be funny if it all starts direct toward me. Anyway.
You're too hard on that Leviathan guy.
Stop being so cheerful about these creepypastas.
I haven't made any dummy emails yet, so yeah, that's why it hasn't started.
I gotcha. So yeah, and also if you want to leave us some messages on our email, it is aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com, where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas. Like I said, we have a small list or a small roster, if you will. However, anything that's suggested to us ends up taking priority because somebody suggested to us. Whereas it wasn't just on a list of ones that we were just going to randomly choose. So, until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
And I've been the uncharacteristically chipper Dr. Leviathan.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.